And we have more news coming in. Again, it's got to do with the tensions in West Asia. Iran's big conditions to open the Strait of Hormuz, which has since been closed. Expel US envoys condition for Europe and for Gulf. Iran now mounting pressure on the Gulf and European nations. Iran media is reporting that Gulf Europe must expel US Israeli envoys. IRGC has said any Arab or European country that expels Israeli and American ambassadors from its territory will have complete freedom and authority to pass through the Strait of Hormuz starting tomorrow. That's a big condition that has been put forth by Iran, clearly to build pressure. Gulf and countries must be expelling Israeli and American ambassadors from its territory. That's a demand that has been made by Iran at this point in time. If you do so, then you would be allowed to use the Strait of Hormuz, says Iran, in a condition that it has laid down now. Iran mounting pressure on Gulf and European nations. The media there reporting on how the government there wants Gulf and Europe to expel US and Israeli envoys. So if you want to use the Strait of Hormuz, then you must expel all of your American and Israeli envoys. It's a condition that has been laid down by Iran. Now remember, the Strait of Hormuz is extremely crucial, and that's the reason why this condition that has been put by Iran may be something that countries that are facing the brunt of the war could be looking at or could be considering. Expel Israeli and American ambassadors from your territory and be free to use the Strait of Hormuz. Pranay Upadhyay getting in more on that story. Iran has put down this condition, saying that if you want to use the Strait of Hormuz, then expel US and Israeli envoys from your territory. Pranay, if you can hear me, I was asking you about this new condition, an interesting one that Iran has laid down.
Sneha, interesting condition, and this is being attributed to IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guard, and that too after the election or selection of the new supreme leader of Iran. Iran is definitely putting a psychological pressure on the allies of the United States, partner countries of the United States, and in fact at a time when most of these countries are reeling under the pressure. The Gulf nations are not being able to export their oil producers, and also many of the US allies are not being able to import the energy supplies from the Gulf region. And at a time the Iranian regime has put this condition that if you expel Israeli and American ambassador or their bases from your territory, from your soil, then you will get this leverage, you will get this pass to pass through to go to take your shipment from Strait of Hormuz. So clearly, there is no indication that any country would expel the American ambassadors or Israeli envoys based on this. But certainly, Iran is playing the strategy of waging difference among the partner countries, and especially putting pressure on countries those who are hosting American bases in the region, because we are seeing that all the countries which has US bases in the region are being targeted, and in fact those countries are also really under pressure because of this, because if you see Bahrain or Kuwait or Saudi Arabia or United Arab Emirates, all these countries have a significant number of US bases and US military presence there. And in fact, Iran has repeated multiple times that the Iranian forces are only targeting these American bases, and that's why the territory of these countries are also coming under attack.